What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I know it has been some time since I last posted. I know I also said I was going to wait for the AM squeeze before my next upload, but I just couldn't stay away. I really did want to make a video on a few stocks and why you should buy some long-term shares or leap options and things like that, because these opportunities right now are just too good to pass up. So the first stock I have pulled up right here on Robinhood is Cleanspark. Their ticker symbol is CLSK. And just a brief overview on these companies, guys. I'm not really going to be talking about the financials or diving deep into what they do or things like that. I'm just going to be talking about a few brief news articles on them, the general idea of what they do, and the positions that I hold in these companies. So this one is my number one long-term holding, my stock I'm most bullish on over the course of this next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4, 5, even 10 years, and that is Cleanspark. You can see they're currently trading at $14.89. They have been beaten down pretty dramatically, but they did have a nice nearly 10% day today, gaining 95 cents or 7% during normal trading hours, and then an additional 2.69% at the moment here in after hours trading. And for those who don't know what they do, they are a clean cryptocurrency mining company as well as a renewable energy company as well. They do have something called a microgrid, and as you can see right here, Cleanspark's microgrid cuts customer costs by 80%. I do think that renewable energy and crypto mining is a pretty prominent industry for the future, and this company has both of those things as a part of their business model. And the thing that I really like about Cleanspark, guys, other than their growing revenues, is the fact that they are a 95% carbon-free Bitcoin miner. That has been a big issue in regards to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and things like that. Elon Musk really brought it to light and said that Bitcoin mining, Ethereum mining, the whole idea isn't really eco-friendly. You can even see here, this article came out today. Elon Musk says Tesla will most likely accept Bitcoin again when it becomes more eco-friendly. An eco-friendly company that's already doing that is Cleanspark, guys, 95% carbon-free, and they have been increasing the revenues and margins quarter after quarter, and they are still a pretty young company. They also have had some new partnerships and things like that come out these past few weeks, and recently they were just named to the Russell 2000 index. So my position with Cleanspark, guys, is just all call options. I did have shares and I flipped them and things like that, and I do think that holding shares is a pretty safe thing to do, especially with a company like Cleanspark. But for myself, I'm only 19 years old. I don't really want to load up on a bunch of shares of these growth companies, because if I'm so confident in a company, why wouldn't I try to, amplify the profits and the money that I can make on call options? I'm young, so I want to be aggressive. I want to take risks, especially when I am confident. I do want to do it on these high growth companies like Cleanspark. So if we take a look down here at my position, you can see I currently have 18 call options open on Cleanspark for a value of $9,900. Overall, let me click on this actually, guys. Hang on here 1 second. You can see, like I said, I hold 18 of the same contract. The expiration date is the furthest possible option expiration date on the whole chain. I picked January 20th of 2023. You can see these strike call options are the $20 strike, currently trading at $550 per contract. And as of now, my total return is about 19.28% or $1,600. I have huge expectations for this set of call options. I plan to sell these at least within maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years. I mean, I can't even hold for 3 years, excuse me, a year or two, depending on the growth. If I get a huge, 200, 300% return before that, I will scale out of this position. But I am not selling this position, guys, until at least 100% returns. That's how confident I am in this play. And you can see we haven't even had that big of a move, and I'm already up basically 20%. Next, if we take a brief look over here at the technicals, this is over here on the 1 year, 1 day time frame. There really couldn't be much of a better opportunity to buy into Cleanspark than right now. You can see they're down really dramatically from all-time highs up here at $42.60. Since then, they have cooled off. They've broken below all these EMA lines, and they have bounced off of this lower support line down here at about $12.25. You can see a nice strong bounce off that support. They have reversed now, up about 10% in the past 2 days to $14.50. They are fighting all of these EMA lines, but I do expect a nice move back up to the $16 to $17 range. My short-term price target is going to be about $17. If they break that, they should be well on their way back up to the $19, $20 range. But in the long term, guys, that's what I'm concerned about with Cleanspark. And they are a $30, $40, $50, $60, even $70 company. And I do think that they will surpass those numbers. Next stock and company that I like for the long term is Palantir Technologies, currently trading at $22.64, up about a 1.53% on the date today. And this is a slower mover, guys. This is going to be an extremely long-term hold for myself. I do own shares of this, just not on Robinhood. But as of now, my position is 8 call options. The 30 strike call once again expiring on the furthest date, being January 20th of 2023. At the moment, I am going to be up just over 8% or $229. Like I said, the 30 strike call currently trading at $385. And what I found interesting about this certain strike and this certain call option, I should say, for Palantir is the open interest. If we take a look a little bit further down here at the stats as well as the Greeks, you can see the open interest on this strike alone is absolutely absurd. It's over 50,651 open contracts of this strike for Palantir, and this is definitely not retail traders buying up these calls. Sure, it could be some like myself adding these calls, but this is obviously mainly institutions that are loading up. And when you see this high of amount of open interest on a call that expires in 2 years, that's a huge green light or green sign to buy into this position. So I do plan to add a few more of these calls as time progresses and as Palantir maybe dips back down into the lower 20s or even back into the teens. But as of now, guys, they do look pretty strong. They did just bounce up and reclaim this orange line, being this 20-day EMA at about $21.48. My long-term price target on them is still $50 within maybe a year. Definitely a long-term $100+ stock, but that's probably 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road. But as of now, guys, like I said, slow mover. They're not going to get these crazy returns unless they have some kind of huge catalyst, which they do occasionally have. They have had, some recent news come out, and they do get government deal after government deal. But this is a pretty solid company and a pretty safe bet, in my opinion, is grabbing long-term Palantir calls. And last on my list, guys, this one is more of a risky speculative play. This is a SPAC. Ticker symbol is PDAC. And for those of you guys who don't know, a SPAC, special purpose acquisition company, is created for the purpose of taking a private company public and listing them on the main exchange. So Pdac is taking a company known as Cycle public. This merger should be completed at the end of this month or in early August. And for those who don't know, a brief overview of Cycle. They are a battery recycling company, and they are involved in EV batteries and things like that. They do work with motorcycles and some other things. I do think they're a pretty interesting company. They are backed by the government. I do have some long-term hope in their potential over these next few years. But with my position with them, guys, I'm still doing my research on them, so I'm not in too heavy. I actually just got into this today, but I have been following them for a few months now. You can see I picked up 10 contracts. Let me click on this once again, guys. Sorry. You can see over here 10 contracts for a value of $1,700. At the moment, I'm going to be up $200 or 13.33%, which is a nice one-day return. These contracts do expire a little bit earlier than my other ones. I was a little concerned about that because I don't know how far along they'll be by March 18th of 2022, but this is the furthest date available at the moment on the chain. You can see right now these are only going to be $170 a piece. I only have 10, so I am in pretty light, but if I do gain more confidence and see how the merger goes and things like that, I will pick up more as needed and as they do add further expiration dates. But if we take a look at them over here on the 1 year, 1 day time frame, you can see their all-time high is going to be up here at about $15.74. And since then, they have pulled back. They've bounced back up to the upper to mid $12 range. And then at the moment, if I zoom in, you can see below this 200-day EMA is what I was looking for. I actually picked up these calls earlier today, right about here on the support line at $10.31 to 32 cents. You can see the RSI is pretty low at 39. The MACD is looking for a reversal, and I do think they will break this 200-day EMA and kind of have a nice bounce back up to that $11 to $12 range. This is also a long-term hold, like I had been saying about them, not in too heavy. I will add or remove my position as needed, but I am pretty bullish on this company and this SPAC going forward. And then lastly, to close things off, guys, a few honorable mentions. One of them is ChargePoint. I was in ChargePoint a little bit too high. I had to close my position. They had a secondary offering. They sold off pretty sharply back down to 22. I do own shares of ChargePoint, but I'm still kind of waiting on an entry for call options because the far out ones are still pretty pricey. But I do think that this is one of the most solid EV plays that you could get in that whole industry or space. They do own over 70% of all charging stations, and obviously, as we all know, the electric vehicle industry is booming. That actually brings me to another point, guys. My 5 industries of the future are renewable energy, sports betting, electric vehicles, cannabis, and AI or artificial intelligence. So any of those companies that have strong financials and growth quarter after quarter, I think are solid investments. But with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know if you want to see more videos like this in the future. I know this was a little bit lengthy, but I do appreciate if you watch this all the way up until the end. But with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.